Welcome back to the Scare Value Podcast. It is time for Pete's After Thanksgiving Mashed Potato Mashup 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
I don't know what you call it.
I don't know. That's what I called it the first time.
The first time you called it the After Thanksgiving Mashed Potato Mashup, which is why it's called that.
I think it should have been part two.
And we have...
Herpes?
Me. Herpes.
How you doing, Herpes? Good to hear from you. Every few years you pop back up.
That's right. I'm always around to bother you.
Ken was actually on last year's After Thanksgiving Mashed Potato Mashup.
What did we do last year?
I don't remember, but he called in halfway through the episode.
Wait, you called in to yell at us about sleepaway camp.
That might be true. We rectified that 2 weeks ago.
Rectify.
Yes, that was quite the podcast.
Damn near killified. Anywho, this week we're going to be talking about movies that are popular this year that Pete has caught up on in time for his After Thanksgiving Mashed Potato Mashup.
I did. It's all the things I saw, but I didn't see when they came out.
How was your Thanksgiving, guys?
It was good. Do you do anything for Thanksgiving in Taiwan?
Do they do something for American Thanksgiving?
No, I'm
in
saying
Taiwan?
does Ken do anything?
Oh.
But yeah, does Taiwan do...
We dress up like everybody dresses up like pilgrims, and they go into the mountains and they try to kill all the Aboriginals.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
We don't do anything for Thanksgiving.
It's one of the dumbest questions I've heard you ask on this podcast.
Oh, I'll top it.
It's not the first time I've gotten it. I've gotten that question at least 3 or 4 times. I think for my family every year.
I heard there's a place in Poland that's like a Renaissance festival, but they do a American 4th of July, and that's what the festival is. Everyone there pretending to be Americans.
Is there a spring there?
Probably.
That's awesome.
So the 3 movies we're going to cover are Beetlejuice,
Don't say it again.
Longlegs, and a prequel, everybody loves a prequel, to a movie series that we all 3 covered together recently, A Quiet Place Day One.
I did watch those.
Yes. So I have an idea for how to do this. And there's other things. Ken's seen a bunch of things. I think Pete might have seen something here or there. I've probably seen some things. We're gonna really buckle down and get through these 3 movies.
Good luck.
And then there'll be some time left at the end for whatever free form things you want to say about things you've seen. Does that sound good?
It sounds great.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Now, here's how I'd like to attack this. Because I think one of these movies there's going to be very little to say about. And then one, there's going to be a little bit more. And then one, there's going to be a little bit more. So we're going to start with what I think is the least interesting topic, which is Beetlejuice. Because I think we're all going to be pretty much in the same ballpark on this one. But in order to discuss it, what I'd like to do is just out of 10, give me the number of what you think it is, how you'd rank it. Do it in stars if you have to. So like 3 stars is 6. And then whoever's the lowest can talk about why they hate it. Because this is going to pay off, I think, when we get to Longlegs. But cause I think Beetlejuice it's a solid 6. It's not trying to do anything great. It isn't succeeding at doing anything great, but I enjoyed it. It's like a 3-star movie that is very inoffensive and was fun, and I give it a 6.
Wait, stars or numbers?
You can convert. So if you tell me how many stars, I'll give you the number.
11?
11 stars?
Yes.
You give it a 6. All right. Ken, what do you think?
Wait, we're ranking it now?
Because whoever's the lowest is going to go ahead and kick off talking about it.
Now this is not how I would normally do it, but I'm going to have to go lower than Brian, even though I wouldn't go lower than Brian if I were to write a review. I'm going to give it 5.5.
Okay. So, see, this is the thing about why I put this movie first. We're all going to have the same, I feel, opinions on what worked, what didn't.
Mine is who was asking for it. Who asked for Beetlejuice 2?
It made money, so people enjoyed it.
Lots of things make money.
Okay.
The end. That was my review.
You make money. Who asked for you?
I don't make money.
That's true. I don't either. Ken, you make money. Who asked for you?
Who asked for? I think Pete said I could. You said I could be on the show.
That's true. I did, and I'm glad you're here. You're way more fun.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it. You're both equally entertaining.
Fuck you, too.
Speaking of, the reviews are in hot off the presses. My mom has a review. She says that this podcast is very easy to fall asleep to, and she does it a lot. And she really likes it when you come on, Ken, because you're a nice boy.
You're kidding me. I'm 48 years old.
That's what she said, and she also said nothing about Brian and I, so I assume that her initial assessment still stands, which is we sound like assholes saying our asshole things.
Yeah, I've tried to cut down on those, and I've noticed you guys ramp them up.
Well,
So I'm becoming Pete's mom's favorite.
Yep.
Finally.
Well, Ken, you're the low man on Beetlejuice, because God knows we couldn't get an actual number out of Pete. So why don't you go ahead and kick off what you want to say about Beetlejuice.
Rectangle.
I'd like to do so in haiku, if I may.
Yes, indeed. In fact, I insist.
Tim Burton's creepy world. Tim Burton. Yeah. A chat GPT script, but Keaton saves the show. Yeah, so
Bravo, Ken.
yeah, I think that says all of it.
Why'd you bring out the chair if you're just going to put it on the table? You're right. It does drive me nuts when it clanks on the table.
You see, I put the coffee cup down on my notebook, which took me that's why I'm late. It took me like 20 minutes to find my notebook with my precious notes. Spoiler alert, I didn't take any notes. It's really just Nick Cage stuff.
Which, again, I don't even know that we need this episode, but that's fine.
Oh, we always need it. Right, Ken?
Yeah,
Pete,
absolutely.
Pete, your question was, who asked for Beetlejuice? I think that the movie original has a strong fan base, and people have been teased with a sequel since literally 1988. He's supposed to go Hawaiian in the 90s, and he never did.
I remember.
And I think it's amazing that a movie got made this late. But more amazingly is the fact that it's a Tim Burton movie I did not hate. In 2024, seems impossible.
I'll agree with that. I got to say this, though. I didn't think Sweeney Todd was bad, but that, you don't like the musicals, I get it.
Oh, I love
But
musicals.
yeah, I'll agree. It wasn't terrible. Dude,
It's my secret.
I like Sweeney.
Although I
don't mind him.
I tweeted this out during maybe Sunday Night Football when there was 1,000 Wicked commercials. I tweeted out, like, I've finally reached the age where I don't care who knows I want to see Wicked because I love musicals. I just don't care. Pete knows. Pete knows. It's been my secret for my whole life. I love musicals.
I like them. If they're good.
I've seen so many, and I guess I've tried. I saw Camelot or Spamalot. I've seen The Lion King. I've seen something else that was big. The Stomp.
Who's in that one?
It wasn't Tom
Something else
Hanks.
is big. No, he'd be in the original.
Yeah, it
He
was
was in the original Broadway cast.
It was Colin Hanks. That's right. His son was playing the older version of him.
Nice.
It was weird. Anyway, so I just don't like them. I don't get musicals. I try. Someday I'm going to watch Hamilton. I hear it's good.
And I fucking love musicals. And I think it's manly to admit that.
Who's questioning your manliness?
I feel like everyone all the time.
You don't see anybody, first off.
That's true.
Brian, did you see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah?
The musical one?
No. Oh, I won't go outside to watch musicals. I will watch musical adaptations in film, television, or just videos on YouTube of people filming the Broadway plays.
I have a visual in my head. I can't get out of my head now.
Or I'll listen to
You at
soundtracks.
home watching musicals.
I do. I love musicals. Those are my two things: horror movies and musicals. And there aren't enough horror musicals, to be honest. That's part of the problem. Sweeney Todd is one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good one.
What's the Repo, the Genetic Opera?
Rocky Horror.
Rocky
right?
Horror is obviously the big one, which I don't really like that much. And
Nah, that's not.
Little Shop of Horrors was a big one for me in the 80s.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's probably what got me into. Yeah. It's probably Steve Martin's fault, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yes, it is the best part. And that's something that I've thought
Dentist.
about for 40-something years. So that's probably why I like musicals.
Yeah, it's a good reason to start.
And for Beetlejuice, the musical scene is the worst scene in the entire movie.
Holy cow. That's, I think, I didn't mind the movie when I first saw it, but after, it's just
We
sitting.
didn't have a Megan situation where you haven't seen it since, but now it's horrible.
No, it's not that bad, but that ending is just so brutal.
It's funny for about 30 seconds, and if they'd cut it there, it would have worked, and they went for the full fucking MacArthur Park. A notoriously long
You're
song.
talking about that in the church?
Mhm.
In the church, that one?
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was okay, but I hated the beginning of the movie because that script, man, they just took on way too much stuff. They could have had everybody coming home for the funeral of the pedophile, and that would have been fine. You could have done all the exposition you want to do right there with people coming through the airport, all that crap.
Well,
So that's what bothers me.
one of the things that I came to enjoy because I've seen it once too. Saw it in the IMAX, enjoyed it. Again, it's fine. It's not like it's great. I would classify it as surprisingly good. It just wasn't mean good. It just means surprisingly good.
Better than I expected, and
Yes.
as your haiku puts it, it was saved by Batman.
I think better than it has any right to be because it's Tim Burton. But if Wednesday hadn't been good, because I enjoyed Wednesday, which is the first thing in about 20 years that I enjoyed from, because even Sweeney Todd's 20 years ago. But
Yeah, it's true.
one of the things I came to enjoy about the movie while watching it is how bad the script is. And it had to be on purpose at some points because so many characters have plot lines that are just meaningless. And it's fascinating to watch. And let me get to why I think this was on purpose. You're watching Monica Bellucci,
Yeah.
great part of the movie, completely inconsequential to the plot. You could take her entire role out of the movie and nothing changes. Willem Dafoe, great actor. Take his entire plot out of the movie, nothing changes. Nothing matters. Now, what I liked about this is that you follow these characters, so this movie's unnecessarily long, but it ends up dropping all of these plot lines. It starts a Jenna Ortega plot line halfway through the movie, which is fine too. And then it pays off her father thing in like a pretty poor way. It does doing all these things, and it strips all of them away so that they're all completely meaningless. And the only thing that matters is Beetlejuice is still trying to marry Lydia Dietz. And I cackled that they threw on basically 25 years, 40 years, whatever it is, 38 years of ideas, every idea they had. And they were like, but it's really only ever been about one thing. And I really enjoyed when it got stripped all the way back to, remember Beetlejuice? And I'm like, I do remember Beetlejuice.
and on that point, all the good parts, in my opinion, I thought the last scene was okay, except for the characters were, but the parts that I think worked the best were the old rehashes from the original movie, like when they're in the Beetlejuice world and whatever. Like all the funny parts that made me laugh were just rehashes. They're basically just rehashes from the first one. They just, in some way, shape, or form, and it was all Keaton doing it. He was by far the best.
I think the movie has three massive things in its favor. Number one is that Michael Keaton is so much fun as Beetlejuice. Still, after all these years, still fun. Number two, they gave Catherine O'Hara more to do, and Catherine O'Hara is fucking great. And number three, when Tim Burton gets to go play in his netherworld or whatever they called it, he's back to having fun on film again. And I can't remember the last time I had fun watching him have fun in a movie, because he enjoys that afterlife world so much that I enjoy it too. Yeah. And I haven't enjoyed any of his weird, the more Tim Burton-y he gets, the less I like it, because he's got himself more trapped into something that worked once. I enjoyed watching him revisit it. I think he had fun making it, which I could feel on the screen.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it was the best looking movie I've seen all year, like in terms of like special effects, whatever. Yeah, so I would totally agree with the look of the film was awesome. Actually, it was really great.
I agree.
What about you?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Well, I had another one of those moments where I felt really good about how I'm aging and not being a creepy person. It's like I'm not watching the movie going, Jenna Ortega's like 23 or something now, or maybe, and I'm not looking at her going, ooh, I like her. I'm looking at Monica Bellucci going, 65-year-old Monica Bellucci. And like, I'm sorry, she's drop dead gorgeous.
And I think Winona Ryder. Well, where was Winona Ryder? But she was in Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. That's the first time I've seen her in a while.
She had the hardest role, I think, in the movie. And I'll tell you why. Because Jenna Ortega can create a new character, and Catherine O'Hara can just go all in on her character, and Michael Keaton obviously can just do anything he wants. Lydia is a harder role to play as an adult, because part of the whole story of Lydia was she'd already figured out who she was in 1988. So to be true to that, she can't really change who she is. So she's kind of trapped, Winona Ryder, in the performance of, there's really no way to innovate her performance because she was right the first time. She is who she is. She's not going to change her look. She's not going to change her style. She's not going to change who she is. And I think that's a tough thing to play. And I felt kind of bad for her because I'm sure she wanted to make this movie for a long time, and there wasn't anything really that interesting for her to do because there can't be, because the last movie was her movie.
I think Jeffrey Jones had the hardest role.
Who?
Jeffrey Jones.
Oh,
Isn't that his name?
The pedophile. Yes. I don't remember his name, but him. I thought there was too much.
They revolved this entire movie around his death, and they had like a lot of likenesses of him. They had an ice sculpture.
I know,
like
that was annoying. See, that's in Mark. You know what?
It was weird.
No, I thought if you're gonna have to, because you live in the world here, and the character exists, and he was a major part of the first movie, and his inciting incident of this movie is his death. I think if you have to do it, I loved how they chose to have him get eaten by a shark, so his body has to walk around without his head the whole time. And I thought I enjoyed everything they did with, we have to get around this somehow. What do we do? It's like, make it hurt.
Less pictures and likenesses, though. That's what it should have been. Just this headless corpse wandering. Then I would have been happy.
Yeah.
But, all right, so that's Beetlejuice. Not saying it again, because then I know what happens. Wait, Michael Keaton comes or Beetlejuice comes?
No, you said it 3 times.
Oh, no.
Gremlins.
I like Gremlins. They live in the Kremlins.
The Gremlins rule.
Now let's get on to the movie of the 3 that I have the least understanding of what Pete thinks about it, though I have my suspicions, because I know who he is as a human being. A Quiet Place Day 1. I give it an 8.
Okay. 8 out of 10. Pete, what do you give it?
I give it a too quiet.
No, you got to give it a number, Pete.
That's the number 2.
Right.
Too quiet.
You have to defend your number then. You have to tell us how this is one of the worst movies you've ever seen.
It's not one of the worst movies.
Well, then it's not a 2, is it?
Oh, it's a 2.
That's a 1-star movie.
It's too quiet.
Just tell me how many stars you give it.
I don't do stars.
The whole thing was we're not going to fuck around until the end.
I'm not. Just accept my too quiet as my rating.
If you pick a 2, then you have to talk about the movie.
I know.
All right.
Oh, I know.
I'll give it an 8. I agree with the 8.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So we know you're going to be the low man
absolutely.
on it, but we don't. I want to understand how low.
Yeah, it's.
We think it's a 4-star movie. It's a great movie.
Here's my problem.
No,
thinks it's
a
half
number.
of an
A number. Give me your problem in a number.
It's a 2. I'm giving it a 2 for the too quiet. I can't rank it because I've been infected by Kitty, who watched it when I was trying to watch it for her first watch along and started complaining about every choice the character made. So now even watching this one, I started off. I'm like, it makes sense, I guess, but Kitty's in my head just whispering at me the whole time. I think the movie was exciting because having an invasion, like the invasion was really cool. Being trapped in New York was cool. I had my issue again was the too quiet. When they started talking in the rain, it made sense. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I understand, but I can't really hear what she's saying. And then she starts talking to somebody and the guy's British. So now I have to deal with an accent that I can barely understand on top of the whispering. So I missed most of what the plot was. And then I couldn't see anything, so it was very dark all the time. But I found out later that apparently there's something wrong with the color on the TV in the basement.
Your entire review is the meme of Abe Simpson yelling at a cloud.
What did the cloud do?
It's too dark. It's too quiet. People are in my head. You're an embarrassment to film review.
I disagree, Pete.
I disagree with every word you said.
I disagree with everything that Brian just said. I think it's. I think you should get your TV fixed, though. I will say that much.
That's true.
I tried. After you pointed this out to me, Brian, I went down here and I played with it and I kept pushing all the buttons and it looks good. Like it brightens up when I'm trying to test all the different things. I even factory reset it and then I turn it back on and everything's pitch black again. So I don't get it.
I love A Quiet Place Day 1, and I did not expect for the 3rd installment and a prequel of a series that I've enjoyed, but I don't think has had that much to say about things, to be one of the stronger meditations on death that I've ever seen in a horror movie, which is a series of genre about death. Her purpose in that movie, to survive, to say goodbye to the world, to see the homestead one more time, and then to go out on her own terms, is moving as fuck. And Lupita Nyong'o is one of our absolute best actors. And the more genre stuff she does, the better, because this role, when she took the role, I remember an interview and they said, what drew you to doing, A Quiet Place Day 1? And she said, the script. And I'm like, that seems weird. And then I saw the movie and I was like, no, I totally get it. Like, how many dramas is she going to get to do as a dying character whose role in this movie is so moving? She's perfect.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I like her hat. I like her cat. I like her sweater. I like the muffling, you know? It's like she's wearing the perfect clothes to be quiet. And she's got a cat that, you know, follows her around. They're quiet too.
Oh, that was
I
awesome.
liked all that. Yeah.
When the cat went on its own adventure and it found the British guy and it was its own little hero and then it survived at the end. I feel, as much as I like Lupita Nyong'o, I feel like we could have spent more time with the cat.
I feel like we got a lot of the cat. And
we spent a lot on the cat.
Yeah.
He found the nest, didn't he? I mean, or the whatever it is, boy or girl. But it found the nest for the aliens, which I think is a good plot point for whatever they do after that. Like they're gonna use that, like the aliens have a nest or something. You know, that was an interesting point which they didn't expand on. But I thought it was like, okay, this is gonna be for the next movie. That was cool.
I think it was excellent marketing to tell people we're going to get, you know, maybe a more action-packed version of this, and then they sit there and you get a quiet drama. And I was blown away by it. It's a very personal, you know, quiet movie, and a quiet in a different way than the other ones are trying to survive. This is a person whose mission isn't so much to survive, it's to just go out on their own terms. And I thought I was moved by it in a way that I could not have expected to be by a Quiet Place movie, let alone the third one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think the thing that bothered me for the first act, if you will, I think I figured out the X. But going to going to Harlem for pizza was insane, because it's like you're in Chinatown, which is the southernmost tip of Manhattan. You're gonna go to the northernmost tip of Manhattan for freaking pizza, which is not known for pizza. But obviously you figure it out later because of her father. And,
I'm sure Pete did, but yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Like she really wanted to go to the pizza place. That was her big thing, right? And I like that. That was fine. But the fact that she picked Harlem really pissed me off for about 30 minutes. And I'm just like, you're going to go the longest possible distance to get pizza from a place which is not remotely famous for pizza when you are right next to Little Italy. Like, that pissed me off. Like, I was just like, Little Italy is 2 blocks away. Like, this right fucking there. But then when she gets to her apartment and explains her dad and all that, I was like, okay, I can forgive this movie. And I started to really enjoy it. Yeah.
Did you catch that sweater was her dad's sweater?
I didn't really catch that, or I didn't make a note of it because I saw it a while ago, but I didn't know. I don't think I caught it.
When she's looking at the photo at the end, when she's gotten Eric on the boat.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Good catch.
It's a movie that is surprisingly deep in a personal way, and that's why getting such a great actress to play that role was so important, because she's fucking great.
I gotta say though, the one thing that bothered me, only thing, this for me, I have a haiku.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to hear it.
Do you have a haiku for all the films?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. All right, lay it on me.
All right, so and my problem will come at the end, but I did like it. Didn't see this coming. Well written and plot driven, just not enough gore. So the very end, I thought they could have used an exciting.
No,
Glad you like my haiku.
that's why it's one of the things I actually did like about it was how it subverted all the expectations. If you've seen Quiet Place part 2, which we all saw, it opens with the most action the series ever had, showing the invasion day where they were, and it's high spirited and fast paced and super fun. And I'm like, oh, maybe this next movie made all out of that, and they do the exact opposite to great effect. And I agree, there's so much less horror in this movie than you expect, because from her perspective, this isn't that scary. What she's going through is scary. Right. And I really enjoyed that. Why is the scariest scene in the movie when Eric is out trying to get her medication? Because he's terrified of this. She's just trying to survive this. She doesn't give a fuck. She's gonna die either way.
Yeah.
And
she's got her goal.
And you get just great imagery. Like, you know, I love that she had to go up north to get pizza because she has to walk against the entire city away from everybody. And I loved everything that this movie did with that character, and I could not have expected it at all.
Yeah, I could have just gone for one more right before the boat, right before he runs for the boat. One more scene where maybe they don't get chased, but you see somebody else get like, hammered. Somebody, whatever along the way. Like that would have been good for me. But otherwise, like I said, 8 out of 10 is exactly what I actually gave it.
I feel like they're saving that stuff because there's going to be more entries. This movie was a giant hit again too. I feel like they're saving more violent stuff for a different person's interpretation of the world, because this felt like a guy who had a very personal message about cancer and said, how am I going to get people to watch this? And then he found an opportunity to get people to watch it. And I was blown away by how much I loved it. But maybe someone will come along and be like, hey, I have an idea for a thing set in this world, and it's going to be the Aliens version of it,
Well, I like that. We first time I've seen a cancer coming to terms with death drama mixed with a horror film,
and it was you couldn't have done it better.
Yeah, horror mixes with everything. I keep telling y'all.
That final image of her pulling out the headphones and just letting it go, it's beautiful,
right?
And it's terrifying and it's beautiful, and it's like I didn't expect it from A Quiet Place day one. Of all movies, I did not expect it from A Quiet Place day one.
I agree.
It seemed good.
I maybe should have, because you get Lupita Nyong'o, she's going to give you a great...
She's fantastic. Everything I've seen her in, she's amazing.
She is.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish I could have liked it.
I liked Eric, too. He was... what's his name? He's becoming a big star. He's from Stranger Things. Oh, Joseph Quinn. And I liked him in this movie, too, because he's clearly not the focus of the movie. But he does a really good job showing like a regular person who is actually afraid of every single second he's around. And I enjoyed enjoyed that she had the cat, but she also had a dog following her around because he couldn't leave her alone either.
Yeah, I loved his entry coming up from the subway, like getting spit out of the subway was awesome. I mean, because I've been trapped in those subways, but when all the lights went out, and it was insane. You had to jump over the freaking wires and jump up to the platform, hope that the lights don't come back on, and you get freaking electrocuted. So just getting spit out of the subway tunnel was I thought that was a great intro. Anyway, so
yeah,
that's how we came into the movie.
No, this is the thing.
I did like.
This is the issue, Pete, because the things you didn't like about this movie, I think, are what make it stand out from the indie drama it could have been.
I have trouble. That's why I can't rank this movie, because you would have thunked that I liked it better because they were good. Speaking in the Rain, she learned and it's so emotionally driven.
Oh,
and
when
she's so great.
When she screams when he's reading the poem, I was like, that give her another Oscar.
The invasion itself was fun to watch. They're not my favorite creatures, like design wise, but the invasion was fun. It was cool. And I get that, more would have been nice, but it's a quieter movie. That's not the script. But the invasion itself gave you that big feel. I
did enjoy seeing it on a larger scale where you can see them all moving across the rooftops of New York to chase down helicopter things. But it's also why I enjoyed that wasn't the point of the movie. So it's just something that happens that's not the focus of it. And I thought it was a really unbelievably good, smart way to use this material to make something that I think is, I'm just going to say, I think it's the best Quiet Place movie. And
I'll agree with that.
I can't believe that it happened, honestly. I think going into the movie, I told you, like, yeah, maybe it'll be good. But like, this was for me, it was like, who's asking for this? And then I walked into the theater and I was like, holy shit, I never knew I needed that.
Yeah, I would put it up there with the first one for sure. I actually thought about this. I definitely tie them if I were to pick which one. I got them tied.
I think I have them tied on their review score on the site, but I think if I was to rank them, this was the one that I think about and that stays with me.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I just think that the only difference would be that the first one is the one that kind of created the whole world. So that kind of sticks with me because I'm just like, that's a difficult thing to start with in the first place. And then this one takes it to another level, which I also appreciate. So I got them tied. Because, like you say, it's totally not what you thought. It's definitely not what I thought.
As a fan of the horror genre, you rarely see the third movie in a series be the one that is like, what if we take this back down to a ground level and make it about a character and their journey? Like, that's the opposite of what you get in these movies. They get bigger, they get dumber. And this one, I couldn't believe they just buckled it in like this.
Everybody loves a prequel.
Yeah, I think so, except Kitty. All right,
I'll agree with that.
now we're on to the one that I'm sure that Ken liked the least. And Pete doesn't have to give me a number because we've proven he's incapable of doing it. But I know that he's around a 7 on Longlegs, and I'm a hard 9.
Well,
So
no.
let's hear Ken give his
hard
2.
9, eh? I'm
hold
an
on.
extremely soft. Oh, sorry.
No, you don't get to jump into a Nick Cage movie.
I had a plan.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was a nice plan, wasn't it?
All right.
Knick Knack Fact, Ken. It's time.
I'm ready. I'm always
you
ready.
always ready? This is almost a continuation. Do you remember a previous install? Wait, this isn't a Nick. This is a.
He's on the wrong fucking page again.
No, this
Are you on a
isn't.
Cage
No,
News
what I got.
podcast?
It's not really. It's more Nick News. It's not a Nick. It's not Nick Knack
I hear
Fact.
the rattling of papers.
No, okay, I guess.
Panic over there.
No, you know what? It is a Nick Knack Fact, and it's a continuation of another Nick Knack Fact. Do you perhaps remember, guys, when he was hanging out with Charlie Sheen and he had square pasta at a restaurant in San Francisco and he said it was the best
And they
pasta?
said it was the best pasta he's ever had. He loved it.
You remember? Well, did you guys know that he was almost kicked off of a flight with Charlie Sheen, lover of square pasta, because he took the microphone and announced to the passengers that the pilot was sick. He also had cocaine on him.
He just got kicked off the plane.
Yeah, well,
he leaves the
almost got
Charlie
kicked off. Him and Charlie Sheen, man.
All right. I give it a 9.
Wow.
Pete gives it a 7. Give us your number, Ken.
Okay, I'll give it my. I'll give it my actual rating number is 6.5.
No, it's higher than I thought you were going to give it, to be honest with you.
Well, I didn't hate it because, and I guess I'll tell you why. I have a haiku.
Tell me in haiku form.
The satanic darkness quickly evaporated, but Cage, that devil. Okay, so I did love the ending. I did love Nick Cage in it, but I got to say that script could have started with basically with Nick Cage going into that attic or whatever and getting that ball out of the doll or whatever. Like now you're getting into a really interesting. Now you're getting a really interesting part of the plot, and I had to sit through that like Jodie Foster wannabe for an hour already. It was awful. I couldn't stand it. I did like the cinematography to an extent, but I'm like, this movie's taking place in the 90s, but it looks like it's shot in the 70s. It's like, what's the point here? I don't get. I'm a little lost for a long time, but Nick Cage for me was awesome in that movie. It was one of those big performances, so that's where I'm at on it for the most part.
Pete?
Well, I tried to watch it again because I was very confused. The first time I watched it, I wasn't sure of the ending. I didn't understand what the point of the doll maker and the devil and the mother, and I didn't understand much.
Yeah.
So I put it on to watch it again, and then I fell asleep before Nick Cage came on, so that's probably not...
Nick Cage comes on 10 seconds into this movie.
No.
Well, that says something about the movie then. If they don't...
Small.
Yeah, they need to get him out there faster, like when they're putting who made the film and the producers. They got to throw up some Nick Cage.
I think Nick Cage was a producer.
So they should have done it faster then. But I fell asleep. But I didn't end up finishing it again. I had to stay up and watch it. It made me tired. And I really agree with a lot of your assessments. I didn't like where they have the mother explain to you everything that you've watched in a exposition for like 5 minutes. It's kind of annoying to me, but I'm okay with it. I liked how it looked. I like Nicolas Cage, but he's great in everything, so that's just a given. I didn't have your problem with her. I don't know. I wouldn't go running back to watch it again. I enjoyed it, but I'm looking forward to his next movie, Oz Perkins.
I didn't hate it. I actually liked the scene where they go into the empty house. I thought that was cool. But other than that, after that, it got real slow for me. I actually yawned in the first hour.
That is the Osgood Perkins style. He makes slow burn movies. And the reason I loved this one is that I think he finally found the type of movie that fit his style best. It is a Silence of the Lambs with some supernatural stuff, which is a movie that I've probably wanted to see since I saw Silence of the Lambs. Like, what if we just fucking made this a devil-worshipping movie, like Silence of the Lambs? Like, let's get a little crazy with this. And somebody finally made it. Now, he made it slowly, as he makes everything.
I think Lou Diamond Phillips had a Silence of the Lambs supernatural movie. I'm pretty sure. I saw it. He was, and there was like devils and
Oh,
stuff.
La Bamba, isn't it?
It was La Bamba. That's right. I did watch
I
that.
think it was La Bamba.
And it was a documentary too. No, what was I going to say about this movie? Something dark. Oh, the ending. I couldn't. Did you figure out, Ken, what the plan was? So Nicolas Cage would make these dolls. Why was there a inverted triangle of the birth dates that led to a like what?
Oh God, dude, I'm not into like satanic cult rituals. I have no clue. I'm sure there's some sort of.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm sure there's something to it, but like, how the fuck do I know? It's like it means nothing. Nobody explains that.
So what I can,
the mom would explain.
Well, fair, but I figure too. So the mother of the FBI agent,
Alicia Witt.
Alicia Witt, that's the mother. Mm-hmm. Where do I know her from? Because I know her from somewhere, not just Longlegs.
Well, she was in Twin Peaks, but no, you know her from that.
Hey Ken, did you know I have long lungs?
You do?
Yeah, doctor told me that once.
I thought you might, but I wasn't sure.
Me and Nick Cage are similar.
Really?
Yeah, that was told that I have long lungs.
So how shitty must they be that you cough all the time?
I don't know. I got that pneumonia that one time. What else? Okay, so anyway, the mother, she was about to have her kid. I can't even figure out. So Nick Cage would make the doll, put like the devil inside the doll's head, and then the devil would get into the child's head, and then
the father's head first.
Okay, and then the father would kill everyone. But Nicolas Cage, as Longlegs, would give the mother the choice to join him, or
she begged for Longlegs to spare her daughter, and in return, she had to do his bidding, and that's how he got all the dolls in the houses. Right.
And then she went full on Satanist, and
she did eventually. When you see her the first time do it, the clip, she's horrified, and when you see her later, she's completely embraced this.
But he had also said Longlegs said he gave that same choice to all of the mothers. Either kill the doll and kill yourself, or something. I don't remember. It was a weird, complicated, or not even complicated. I just didn't understand it. And for such a tense, driven thing, I wanted a little more logic to my insane Satan worshiper.
It would have been built up a lot of suspense too if they had explained that exact part a little bit earlier, or if that was known a little bit earlier. Like, because it was past an hour, I think. It was at least an hour before you get to that kind of part. So that was the thing I had. It's like, yes, this looks cool. I did love the ending, actually. Like, but it was just like, had I known like a little bit more about the situation, I would have felt some suspense. Just give me some hints,
How good was Blair Underwood at the end?
Blair Underwood,
her boss.
Is he from L.A. Law?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was him. Holy crap! Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he was good. I thought, exactly. I thought the supporting cast was good. I just didn't like the main lead there, the detective there. I didn't appreciate her non-choices.
That's Micah Monroe from It
yeah.
Follows, one of the best movies of all time, and she's doing it the way that Osgood Perkins wants all of his characters to act: slow and steady, detached. Everyone has to be
she
detached.
Did it.
Yeah, she's great at it.
Right.
So his first movie was The Blackcoat's Daughter, which was fun and slow. His next movie was I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, which was fun and slow. I thought
they were fun.
I never saw Gretel and Hansel. And then I saw Longlegs, which is his last movie, and it's fun and slow, but fit the pacing that he has better than the other movies did, I thought. If you saw those.
I haven't seen any.
I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the
I
House.
said, I didn't hate
it fit pretty good because he's making a very methodical kind of ghost story. But there's no excitement in the plot of that movie, whereas this one has excitement in the plot. I mean, it actually starts off with, that creepy Longlegs scene, and then you get right to her partner's face getting blown off. And like in 5 minutes in this movie, you're like, bang, bang. And then it slows back down.
Yeah. Yep.
For the investigation. And I love me a good investigative horror movie, even if I don't understand what the fuck they're investigating.
That was my issue. I really enjoyed, like you say, that partner getting shot, like, not really, but you know what I mean.
Oh, I loved it. That was great.
No, I mean, it was a great part, but like, you gotta tease me with something, man. Like, okay, so it's like Nick Cage. I wasn't even sure that was Nick Cage in the very beginning, like dressed up, and I was just like, okay, that was probably him. And then I'm just like, well, okay, now I'm waiting 40 minutes later. I still don't have any clue what the hell's going on. So that was my issue, I guess.
I didn't have that issue. I will agree that it is a little bit too long because it goes past my 90-minute mark. It was like an hour 40 or...
Yeah, well, that's pretty good, though.
It was close. Well, I appreciate the effort, but I figured 10 more minutes of the parts that weren't Nicolas Cage could have been cut.
Yeah, I guess.
You
want to cut Blair Underwood parts?
I'll totally agree with it.
Blair Underwood was great. What was at the end? He's like, well, he talks to his wife. He's like, well, you help me in the kitchen? She's like, sure, we'll be right back. He's like, I will. You won't.
He says, I'll be right back. You'll still be in the kitchen. Yeah.
He was all demon infested.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say Cage bashing his head on the table, but I'm sure everybody loved that part.
Hail Satan.
I'm told there is a 23-minute cut of him singing Happy Birthday to...
That should have been in there.
Special features.
I read that exists, and that my girl Rose said she saw it.
That's got to come out. And did anyone figure out what the plot was for the devil? Because I didn't. It was to just put these things in people's head, and then what? Did the devil win? Because the doll's still there. Her gun didn't fire.
The point was to spread himself into all these homes. And
I'm guessing he's just, yeah.
Well, Nick Cage says once he dies, he'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
But the dolls are destroyed, aren't they?
No.
Is he the devil, or is he just the devil? Like,
no, he's not, because he tells you he's got his friend downstairs.
He's just a big fan.
Right.
He's a big fan of the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Hail Satan.
I don't know. Hail Satan. I did not figure out the plot.
Yeah.
I don't know what the devil's plan was. Well, I guess it's not really up to us mortals to know the wily ways of Lucifer himself.
I guess if I was to try to put a thing onto it, I would say that Nick Cage, being a Satan worshiper and a disciple of Satan and trying to spread his thing around, he had a shelf life. He had 12 things to accomplish, really. It's all centered around this birthday, and you get one from every month. So I would tell you that he's not the only person. Like, I think we might be saying that all of these serial killers that we have are doing these patterns in their own way and spreading the devil around. And this was just a Nick Cage story of that. The end of the Longlegs saga of already 10 dead little girls. Lee Harker got away, and she saves the last girl, but does she? Because
I don't know.
The girl's infected with it, and
if she shoots the doll, it goes away.
Yeah, I don't know. Just go get more bullets.
Yeah, right. All right. So I enjoyed the movie. It's not one I'm going to be rushing to watch again. It's not one I'm just going to pop in and watch.
You did just watch it again.
I fell asleep.
You said you did finish it.
I did. I had to watch it again. I was a little annoyed by that. I get annoyed when I have to think too hard. I was annoyed at Possession, but now I don't have to think about it, and I like it a lot again. Possession was really good. You should watch it, Ken.
I didn't see it.
Yo, if you get the chance.
What genre of horror is that?
That's impossible to explain. I would say listen to last week's episode, the Thanksgiving Giving Thanks to Sam Neill episode, and you'll hear a lot about Possession.
It's solid.
You'll hear that a lot too, because that was his secret word of the week. He slipped into the podcast 7 times.
I was going to do liquid this week and see how many times I could say liquid, but
up to 2.
Liquid television. Remember that one, guys?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
All right, Ken.
What's that? Yeah.
It's time for you to just give us your Ken reports of what other crap have you seen lately?
What else came out this year that we haven't talked about? Man.
Well, okay. Well, can I start with an apology and a correction?
Yeah. I think Brian owes everyone one too, because he hasn't apologized for...
He does. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
He's shaking his head at us.
Andy McDowell is horrible. And Minnie Driver... the one I'll be talking.
He has thrown his hands up in exasperation.
Why do I have to be the Andy McDowell defense force all the time? This
You
woman
don't
has
have-
done nothing
you
to
don't have-
anybody.
just don't say her name.
Yeah, why you just bring her up? You don't have to bring her up, and we won't have to talk about her.
I didn't bring her up.
Listen,
Ken
and
just
it's her
brought her up.
face. Well, I bring it up because it's an apology and a correction. My correction is it's Minnie Driver I was thinking of.
Gross Point Blank's Mini
And-
Driver?
Oh, that's right, exactly. And I looked it up. She's 3 inches shorter than myself, a little bit more. And,
Oh, this is about the height thing again.
Even if she puts up her curly hair, I can probably see around it. That's good, and that's good luck. Also, I would like to say Andy McDowell is far below. What's her name? The real tall giant lady.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah, that's right. So I just wanted to start with that one. But
What was the apology?
you were supposed because you said we should like her for some reason.
No,
I don't know.
no.
And you should apologize for that
No,
statement.
I didn't say that. I said Pete hates her, but he likes all the movies she's in. That's what I said. That was the end of my statement.
Maybe that's Pete should apologize. I don't know. But
Can't even get him to
that's
pick a
my
number out of
correction.
10.
I did. It was 11.
For Andy McDowell, I'll give her a hard 2.
All right, what have you seen? What have you seen, Ken?
For Andy McDowell?
No, for this year's
I've seen her
movies that
face.
you want to cover. And,
Oh, Terrifier 3
Yeah, there you go.
was awesome.
yep, agreed.
I got to see that one.
Didn't like it as much as
In-
2,
in
but I
what-
agreed.
I agree with that too. I saw it in 1 week, and I don't know how you do it, Brian, because I sat there in a week and I watched 1, 2, and 3, and I swear to God, I almost had like some sort of psychosis after that. It is. Also, this is my thing about. Okay, I got a few things, but Terrifier 1 reminds me of a 70s horror.
Sure.
Like really, really simple but good, and some great moments. All right. 2 reminds me of an 80s horror because it's so like a creepy van painted window kind of scenes with like the
mystical
white unicorn.
swords or the dagger with the
mystical
blue.
sword.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But I loved it, and I loved the Clown Cafe. I loved how it was not afraid to be like, this is gonna be a weird ass movie, and it was a fucking weird ass movie. But it was also one of the craziest movies I've ever seen. It really damaged me. And then I saw. I loved Terrifier 3 because it was like you're doing a Christmas thing here. That's very 90s. It's like he took decades for it. And so I saw those ones, and I want to throw out this idea here because in the first one, I don't know if you noticed this, Brian, but I talked to Pete about this before. In the first one, when they first go into that basement area, did you notice anything on the wall that sort of stood out?
No.
They had a big yin yang symbol in the back. It's like center in the frame, and they show it twice. And then I'm thinking about them. It's like it's kind of weird yin yang symbol. Why would you have that there? But then I'm looking at the clown suit. It's like black and white, right? He's got that black tip on the nose. It's very yin yangy. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking about that a lot. I just thought that was pretty interesting. Like this is sort of like that dualism, with Art the Clown. And I think I know who Art the Clown is.
And you've
sure
got
you guys do too.
the balance is her as the whatever the angel or whatever she is, the Valkyrie, the light side. The balance is dark.
Yeah, and he's also got that. Yeah, and Art the Clown is also art is actually representative of art. In fact, I have a haiku that goes with this very well.
Yeah, I love this new thing you've got, Ken. This is awesome. Do you do this like everywhere in life or just for movies?
I do it for a few things, but
Cool.
definitely for movies. But here we go. Art can be messy. Often it's disturbing. Art shows no mercy. And I think that's my Terrifier 3 one.
Brian is impressed by it. He's stroking his
Brian.
beard.
Stop describing me.
I gotta let Ken
Pick a
know.
number
Also-
between 1 and 10, motherfucker.
Also,
14.
I think I know who Art is, and do you guys think you know who Art is as well?
Well, it spends the whole second movie trying to make you think it's her father. But
It is her father.
But
done and done.
I don't think it is.
It is, because the electricity goes out. He hits an electric pole in the second one, they say. He's drawn the thing beforehand. And then in the last one, what's the deal with the last one? There's something with the last one. I forgot. Anyways, that was my Terrifier 1 to 3 take. I'm sorry it took so long.
You have paper over there too?
Yeah.
Nice. Am I the only one that can do this digitally?
Digitally, you use your fingers?
I set that up. Here we are. Anything else new that you want to talk about in theaters here, Ken?
I didn't like Mandy.
No, I told you not to bring that up on this podcast.
That's how much I didn't like it.
Wow.
I told you not to bring this up on this podcast.
All right, we'll have to talk about that one another time, because that's like a whole discussion.
We'll do a Mandy episode.
Yay! That'll be fun.
It won't be till sometime mid next year, because I have a lot of things scheduled. But
remember everything you hate, Ken. Remember it. Let it burn inside you.
I'm not going to have a hard time figuring out the things he hated. I understand the things he hated. I'm just thinking he's wrong.
Yeah.
Because for 45 minutes, I thought Mandy was the worst movie I've ever seen. And then 40 minutes later, when the credits were rolling, I thought, I want to digitally write a letter to this director apologizing for doubting his vision, because every choice he made was 100% correct.
I disagree. I like the first 20 minutes, to be honest. And I'm not kidding you. I liked it. And then it got to like, you should have cut out when they saw her on the road. I'm like, oh, it's going to get good here. Nah, doesn't get good. They burn her on fire. She's still in the bag. You don't even see it. I'm just like, all right. Then it's like, he gets out. He makes his axe. I'm like, this is going to get good now. Not really. It goes real slow. This is kind of a thing I have with slow movies, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll get to it in another episode, because we'll do a watch along, because there's a penis in that movie, and you are our penis watch along expert.
Yeah, I did notice it.
I wonder if that's why my mom thinks you're a nice boy.
His love of penis?
Why's that?
I don't know.
Where are you fitting this in, Pete?
I don't know. I'm disturbed at any implication.
I was waiting for my compliment. So, Smile. Are we getting into Smile 2 or Trap or Speak No Evil or anything?
You can get into any of, well, not Speak No Evil, because we're gonna do that at some point when the thing finally comes to some kind of a streaming platform.
Compare and contrast, if you will, or if you won't.
You can do the other ones, Smile 2, which I liked better than Smile 1, even though I did like Smile 1.
Yeah, I thought it was real good.
Pete guessed the ending of Smile 2 with nothing but the tagline of the movie, I think. I told him what it was as a pop star gets it, and he's like, oh, she's going to kill herself on stage in front of thousands of people. And I was like, I sit in the theater and I'm like, yep, that's what happened.
Well, I mean, cause it like we know the first movie set us up, right?
But I love that they did it, because it opens up a potential sequel. It's another giant hit, this movie.
It was awesome.
It opens up potential sequel to a whole new way of doing things, because this is the same movie as the first movie, just done with a bigger budget. And I think they did it really great. They did some new tricks and stuff, but it's the same, one story. And now you can do anything. The possibilities are endless for what you can do in a sequel. You can have people teaming up trying to solve things. You can have crossover ghosts haunting people. It could be fucking crazy.
I'm just glad it's a bunch of pop music lovers that are all going to die.
Were they the same people from Trap?
I hope so.
Oh, they probably were. They were probably just
so.
switching out like during break time. Oh God, Trap is. I like Smile 2 much more than Trap. I did like Trap, but Smile 2, I think Kim, my wife, she called that out just like Pete did. She's like, oh, she's gonna kill herself in front of everybody. I go, oh, yep.
No, as soon as someone tells it to you, you're like 100% sure that's the ending.
Like,
no, me and Kim are geniuses.
Yeah, apparently. You guys smarter than me over stairs.
We know how to open those trash cans at the park and get the sweet, sweet leftovers.
Well, I don't know if Kim does. Actually, she probably could, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Pete hasn't seen Smile 2, but I think you'd like it.
Yeah, part 1 was all right.
This one's more fun. It's bigger and it's a better looking movie.
I think that.
It's actually a really good looking movie.
Bigger.
And it was a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. And did you notice, Ken, Did you ever watch House?
MD?
How? Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
Did you notice that both of these movies have a side character that was a doctor in House? Because Kal Penn is her boss in the first one, and then the one of the guys that's his late season when he picks up like 3 new doctors to train because he gets rid of the first 3 that just go on to their own adventures in the show. This one's in there too, so like I'm hoping the third one we get another House character.
I hope you get House. That'd be great. You can figure out everybody's problem.
I hope he was in the crowd with his
You
daughter.
can figure out everyone's problem. Yeah, it'd be a perfect episode of House, like discovering the
smile
how
virus.
to cure the disease. Yeah, the smile virus, exactly.
They really should. Isn't Grey's Anatomy still going on?
Who would know that?
But what any of these medical dramas that keep popping up, just make it a supernatural one for like every Halloween. You're like, uh-oh.
Oh, like how I like Longlegs being a procedural that has supernatural stuff.
Right.
I agree.
And the same thing with the Lou Diamond Phillips movie that Longlegs clearly ripped off.
La Bamba.
La Bamba.
Yeah. So what was the Trap? Yeah, we all know what I think of Trap,
And the substance.
Oh, we'll get to the substance too, but you all know what I think of Trap. Loved the whacked out lead performance by Josh Hartnett. He's great.
Hartnett.
He understands it's a fucking comedy.
He was in 30 Days a Night.
He understands it's a comedy in a way that I don't think M. Night Shyamalan understood. But he gets it on screen, so it's good.
I didn't understand it was a comedy.
He understands his character is fucking ridiculous and hilarious. So everything to him is fucking ridiculous and hilarious. And the way he turns his, personas on and off when he has to deal with regular people or deal with his daughter, it's so over the top and silly that it's hilarious. But I think it's really great acting choices because without it, the movie's boring as fuck.
I don't know.
Unless you really want to hear his daughter give a lavish, long produced concert.
Yeah, this is what I liked about it. I did like Josh Hartnett, and you are following him pretty much all the time. So I mean, that's just a good watch, like you say. But what I liked in the part that you didn't like, but the part that I did like is that he does get out. He does figure out a way to get out. So he gets out. But then I was just like amazed that the daughter becomes. The director's daughter becomes like an actual integral part of the plot.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
And I did like that actually.
No, that's.
I don't know. Like I know you're saying, but like at the same time, it was that Shyamalan twist. He actually got it in there. It's like, how can I do it? How can I do? I got my daughter in here. I already got all the music in here.
Let me guess. Let me guess the twist.
There was no twist.
The twist was there was a concession stand that had soft serve ice cream, and it was a twist cone in the background of the final shot. That was the twist.
All right. That wasn't the twist.
I've said this on the podcast before. I love when movies take radical turns for the third act. And this movie literally changes the location, introduces us to like 3 new characters, gives us a new protagonist. It does all the things that I would like, but I need the thing it changes into to be more interesting than what it was. And this movie works best when Josh Hartnett's character is staying ahead of people. For the whole third act, he's working from behind, and I don't like it as much.
That's kind of, it gets ramped up though. You're kind of getting that suspense built, and in the third act, it's getting ramped up. He's in the bathroom. He's like freaking out.
I think it's getting ramped down because I was enjoying everything's closing in on him and he's managing to stay one step ahead. That was the best thing the movie had going for it. So when he gets out, it's like, you should just roll credits because now I have to watch him. He outsmarts the fucking FBI, but he can't outsmart M. Night Shyamalan's pop star daughter. No. Disagree. Hard pass.
So yeah, but that's how he gets out, and she doesn't really she's her vehicle out, literally, right? And so doesn't he get outsmarted in his house, right?
Yeah, his wife ends up outsmarting him in the end. She's the one who set this all up. But he overcame all the things she did. He got away from the FBI. How he ends up getting caught is that she uses her Instagram followers to track down the person that he'd captured, and then he comes back because he wants to kill his wife because it's like he's also wouldn't be that sloppy. He would have just he just would have been like, oh, he figured it out already. When he figured it out, he wouldn't have gone home and have that conversation. He would have been like, time to disappear. So I didn't like that character thing either. I thought it was just, I don't know. The twist was this is the smartest character in the movie, and then he does something incredibly stupid for no reason that's explainable.
Did he have a long
Well,
night?
think about this.
Nobody had long lungs.
That's me.
All right, get to the
Pete, think
substance,
about
Ken.
this.
What's that again?
Okay. One thing I'll say is a flash mob, stops Josh Hart from killing people. I like that. It's a flash mob. I mean, that's a way to foil somebody.
I thought that was like early, no, the 2010s, right? That was when flash mobs were a thing. I didn't know people still did them.
What
They
people do you know?
if they got to catch Josh Hart.
I know you, and I know you don't do flash mobs. And Ken, do you do flash mobs?
You know what? I do 'em. I do solo flash mobs everywhere I go.
All right. So that's 1 out of 2 people I know. I guess flash mobs do still happen. All right, Brian. It's my turn for an apology.
All right, Ken, let's get to the substance.
All right. I happen to have a haiku for this one. A slow burn evolves into full-blown beauty gore, mondo art horror. It was I couldn't really get too much of the plot going on in this one because it was too fucking crazy awesome. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I gotta say, this is probably gonna make, if we ever do an all-time list again, this will probably make it my all-time list. It's a 9 out of 10, if a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Well, I can tell you that
yeah.
on the day this releases, with only one major horror release set to come out the rest of the year in America. Now, there could be something small that catches my attention. Last year, Where the Devil Roams was not a movie that came out in theaters or anything. It just dropped in December on VOD, and it blew me away. It didn't win Best Picture or anything like that in the Scare Value Awards, but it did make the top 10. It wouldn't even be my top 5. I can tell you right now, sitting here on whatever day this is, week after Thanksgiving, December, whatever, that The Substance is in the clear pole position for Best Picture on the Scare Value Awards. And
oh yeah, I believe it.
I also give it like a 9.5, something like that. I think it's one of the best experiences I ever had in a theater with mainstream viewers watching a movie that they assumed would have some light body horror, and then turns into the third act of people not able to understand that this is in theaters starring Demi Moore and what they're watching. I've looked around the theater. I almost missed the whole third act because I was just watching people in front of me, like looking at each other like, what's happening? What's happening? It turns into a fucking 1980s trauma movie. I adored it.
It was amazing. That ending was so killer. I don't even want to ruin it for people.
No, we won't.
Don't please. I got to watch this movie.
But one thing I said to Pete,
you gotta see it.
I wrote this in the review, and the first thing I said to Pete was, my first question when I walked into the movie was, did Demi Moore read this entire script? Because I can't believe the third act. And then she's like, this is the movie I started. Now, the other thing I said to Pete was, I've never thought one way or another about Demi Moore. Nothing. I don't like her, don't hate her, never liked her or hated her or anything. She's been in movies.
How tall is she?
She's pretty short.
Okay.
And I like her in movies, fine, but she's not the reason I like the movies. But she never bothers me. She's never the draw to the movie. And then I saw this movie and I'm like, fuck, she's great in this movie. And I couldn't believe that at 60, she's got her career defining performance and it came out of fucking nowhere in a weird horror movie.
Yeah. Yes.
But how cool is this, too?
Totally.
The movie is thematically about aging in Hollywood and what you'll do to stay young. But does the message get undercut at all by the fact that Demi Moore is 60 years old playing a 50-year-old because she looks too good to be playing a 60-year-old?
I can't believe she's actually 60, to be honest.
But she looks incredible.
I didn't know that.
But I think it adds to the joy of the movie because,
it's awesome.
It's incredible. It's a movie that casts Dennis Quaid at the peak of everybody hating Dennis Quaid and makes him into the most disgustingly vile, offensively horrible person. And he's great. He just walks in like eating the role.
Yeah.
Like
oh God.
I was blown away by it.
Dennis Quaid? Is he in this movie? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I know this. It was supposed to be Ray Liotta. And
that would have worked.
I would have.
That would have worked
because he's a good actor. But I really I'm not glad Ray Liotta's dead. Let me start the sentence differently. I'm glad that they got someone who carries with him, I already disdain you. And then you're like walking in, it's always in close up on his mouth, and he's so fucking disgusting. And I'm really glad that they got a guy who, as soon as I see him, I'm already like, ugh. And then that's what I'm supposed to feel like. Nailed it. When I see Ray Liotta, I'm like, oh, Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're predisposed to dislike the character.
Yes, and I like Ray Liotta. So when Dennis Quaid pops on screen, I'm like, oh, and that's what I'm supposed to feel. So good for you. We'll see if it gets there. Robert Eggers has a movie coming out, and Robert Eggers makes fucking great movies. So I wouldn't be completely stunned if we have another Godzilla -1 versus Talk to Me situation where something sits in the lead and then something swoops in at the end and goes, nope, this is mine now.
Right.
Because
Right.
I'm not betting against Robert Eggers making Nosferatu. I can't bet against them. It's got a creepy Skarsgård in it. How could it not be good?
I'll watch that. The thing I liked the thing that threw me off for this movie, and the movie is all about throwing you off in some subtle way. The first thing was first Demi Moore looks really hot. Then they give her some more real close-ups, and you're kind of like, okay, you can see that she's aging. But the Dennis Quaid thing blew me because I was just like,
it blew you?
He didn't blow.
No wonder you love this movie so much.
Yeah.
We told you to stop going to that theater.
I'm telling you, I had to make the rounds, but it started out it started out with him, and I'm like, this is the most unbelievable hacky dialogue, right?
Yes.
And then I'm watching it more and more, and I'm like, no, it's supposed to be like this because then everything else starts to get a little bit wonky too, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? And then it just never stops. It just never stops. So.
One of the things I liked that people complained about, people being people I don't care about, people whose opinions I laugh at and ignore, they're like, you know what's stupid about that movie though is that every male character is just some comedic aside stereotype, and it's like, well, first of all, that's the fucking point.
Yeah.
But secondly, the entire movie is women have to be hot. So how are men supposed to play in that world?
I agree, and that's what I thought at the very beginning. I had that same feeling, but then as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that's kind of what the movie is. It's doing these two extremes, and then I loved also Demi Moore's younger. Well, I won't get into it, but the other actress.
That's Margaret Qualley, daughter of Andy fucking McDowell. So you guys can suck it. And that's it.
I don't know it. I know very little about the substance except what you two have told me.
The other version of her, younger version, is Andy McDowell's daughter.
Okay. Is she a better actress than Andy McDowell?
Yeah, probably. But Demi Moore also hilarious in this movie. Hilarious.
Really?
Yes. The whole second half of the movie, every time she's on screen, she is. I didn't know she had any of what she's doing in this movie in her. She is hilarious.
It is so gross. This movie. Let's not undersell the grossness of this movie.
It's pretty great. and again, remember, it's in mainstream cinema starring Demi Moore. When you watch it, you'll be like, yeah, this is the thing that happened. We'll definitely be hearing more from this on the top 10 for the year. And
I gotta watch this thing before that.
I can't imagine 10 movies come out that knock it out of the way. And we'll definitely hear about it on the Scare Value Awards. And that's something to look forward to. So.
Oh, I saw Late Night with the Devil.
There you go.
Did you see that one, Ken?
That'll be talked about too in those.
I'll look for it. But,
it was pretty solid. I'm curious what you think of the ending.
I haven't seen it. I can find it on these pirate websites.
Yeah, no hurries or anything. It's just I kind of like the movie.
Well, that one will be talked about in our top 10 list too. So if you want to see it before that, which will be January 1st.
The Nick Cage?
No. That was.
Oh, he did something in the.
Yeah, he did Longlegs.
Long.
Yeah, but there was something before Longlegs that he came out with where he's like the devil or some nonsense.
Sympathy for the Devil.
I don't know.
Yeah, Sympathy for the Devil.
He's in there's a diner scene or something.
Yes.
I just watched that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Solid Nick Cage.
Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, Sympathy for the Devil. That's right.
It's a very long music video for the Rolling Stones.
Okay. Is it better than Mandy?
No, Mandy's a masterpiece. Anybody else got another movie that they want to bring up from
What else
this
did
year?
I see this year?
I saw Pearl.
Yeah, that's not from this year.
I saw Pearl too. Did I watch it this year? I might have.
No, it's from 2 years ago.
But did you watch it this year?
You did
Ken?
watch it this year.
There
No,
we go.
No.
Oh, this year? We've talked about the Taiwanese one. The Crow. I know I bring that up. The First Omen.
Yeah,
I
we
saw
talked.
that.
The First Omen I liked. The Crow was
Yeah,
terrible.
that was good. The Crow is pretty good. Much better than expected.
No.
Yep.
No.
I got so many crow stories to tell you, Ken. The crows in my neighborhood. I think I have 2 murders now. It's quite cool.
Two,
Oh, so I was outside the other day, like getting Christmas
they
stuff.
survived.
Oh, I didn't tell you this, Brian, either. This is great. So I was outside and I heard a whole bunch of like cawing. And I'm like, all right, that's too much, like danger. So I go look, they're doing something up to the north. And then I see other groups of crows coming from different directions going there. And I'm like, all right. I run in the house and I go, like, Sam, my boy, to the car. We need to follow the crows, see if they need help. So we did. We jumped in the car and we went up and we couldn't find them. And then I'm like, all right, that was a disappointment. And then so then I swung through the park on the way home. They were all there, Ken. Brian won't even look at me, but all the crows were there.
I just want to. Some stories can be told after we hit stop on the podcast.
This is too good. I don't know what they were doing because I heard that they investigate. Like if they find a dead crow, they like have a little murder investigation, if you will. Get it? Because get it?
I get it.
But
I get it. That's how you count crows.
it didn't seem to be. Sam thought they were at war with the Canadian geese who were also hanging out in the park, and I think, they were having a family reunion. I don't really have but he made me go home. I wanted to hang out and try to like integrate myself with them, kind of walk on over, caw a little bit, maybe climb a tree.
I would have liked to have seen that.
So
For sure.
I don't know what any of that means, but it happened.
How many would you say there were?
Honestly, probably close to 100.
Oh, God, never mind. That's a number. It's a number. Never mind. A murder or 2. Okay.
A murder.
Fair enough.
Brian is so excited.
I have to edit this.
Oh no, this is
The
good
longer this
stuff.
gets, the harder it is to edit.
That's what she said.
Okay.
No, she didn't say.
I
Was
do
she an
have one
editor?
last movie.
Was she an editor? All right, what's the movie, Ken? This is it. Make it a good one.
Sorry.
You better have a fucking haiku to go
Okay.
with it.
I do.
Yeah.
It's a movie from it's a movie from Thailand. First one came out last year. It's called Ghost Whisperer. This is Ghost Whisperer 2. Thailand's Bruce Campbell breaks out his own boomstick to exorcise demons, and it's sort of a demon exorcising Thai movie, but
a gym.
They sort of westernize it. They make it actiony. Where he's like punching out guys who are like possessed, and it's like, okay, he's got his own like shotgun and stuff, and it's pretty badass, pretty good movie. So I'll throw that out there. It's one of the better horror movies I saw this year.
Ghost Whisperer 2.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Didn't the first one
And the guy
have
looks like Bruce Campbell.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, and it was a TV show?
The first one had Robert Redford,
Robert
and
Redford.
it had a horse. Isn't he in the Horse Whisperer? No.
Brian's nodding, so I'm going to
he?
assume yes. I never saw the horse. Who was in the Bridges of Madison
Me
County?
neither.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah. I heard of that too.
All right, good stuff.
Anything you saw this
I'm
year,
good.
Pete?
I'm trying to think. I saw lots of things this year.
We're well over an hour into this already.
Oh, I know. A lot of this is going to get cut, though.
Aliens.
Can you guess which
Mac-
part?
The stuff where you guys talk. We're going to talk about my crows for a while.
I might leave the crows in now just so that last line lands.
Like an airplane on a runway and not in river.
Okay.
I didn't see anything
Nothing.
else this
Okay.
year. I don't think so.
All right. I saw a billion
Inside.
things. All the reviews for them are on the website, scarevalue.com. That is how we're
see.
going to end that. All the Anomaly Film Festival reviews are up now.
Which one was that?
Alien disappointed you, is that right?
Oh,
I thought it was good.
Alien Romulus. I haven't seen that one either.
It was the fan service parts were terrible, and everything else I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Not too bad.
Didn't you have an
Overall.
issue with the Android being...
Yeah, because my issue with the Android isn't that they resurrected the dead to do it. I don't care about that. I genuinely, who gives a shit? But what I hated about it was they resurrected the Ian Holm character, but not that exact robot, not that exact one.
The model.
Yes, but then they said his name was Rook, which is a different. Bishop is the name of the fucking android in 2. Lance Hendrickson's still alive. Somebody connect these dots for me. Why his name is a play on a different fucking model android of a man who's still alive, so they could have avoided all of this.
I don't know.
But that's all right.
I would write it.
It's okay, because I was the only person in the world that was bothered. Because believe me, I looked. No one in the world was bothered that his name was Rook. Only me. Tons of arguments about whether they should put Ian Holmes' dead face on there and use his voice for AI. Couldn't care less. Why the fuck is he named Rook?
Call him Bishop.
The android he's based off was named Ash.
Oh, yeah.
So why the fuck is he named Rook when the other one's named Bishop? That makes no goddamn sense to me.
Weren't they all pawns at the end?
Yeah, they were.
Why are you smiling at me? It's not even a joke.
Getting what they deserve, I think. By a big powder.
What I would have enjoyed more
Diane.
for Alien Romulus is if instead of the movie we got, the entire thing, scrap the entire thing, even though I like the 2 leads a lot, and give me the story of that alien from the first Alien getting brought on board and then wreaking havoc on the ship. Why did they open the movie by showing you the ship collecting the original alien from Alien after it gets kicked out of the airlock? This movie, by the way, also ends with an alien getting kicked out of the airlock. Don't worry about it.
That's how you get rid of aliens.
It's their kryptonite. So they bring the thing on board, and then it flashes to the future, and then you see the alien strung up, and then the android Rook tells you that what the alien was from the first movie, basically, and he got here and he was still alive and he destroyed everybody. I'm like, that's the movie I want to see. Show me the full complex with the original alien on another adventure.
Okay.
But they didn't give me that.
Yeah. No. They had to give you the wily kids going for the cryogenic capsule.
What
Which
really
they never get.
What really made the movie work was that her android brother, that actor, was fucking incredible, and he carried the entire movie for me.
He was good. I liked the world that they were coming from. The idea was kind of like a Blade Runner kind of place. I did like that. So I don't know. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay overall.
It's a fun watch.
The Powder Mounts.
There's going to be a couple times you have to roll your eyes, but it's a fun watch.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Good action scenes.
Yep. A fun no gravity one when she shoots all these aliens and their blood is just around and they have to get from it. It's got some cool fucking ideas. It's got some cool fucking ideas. And it's on a timer, so they're gonna have to get through quick. And it's got some fun ideas through it, and I think it had good actors. The problem is, real quick, the main problem with the movie is it's gonna follow all the same beats. You're going to get a face hugger. You're going to get a chest burster. Yeah. You're going to get, the full alien. You're going to get the we dealt with that. Now we got a bigger problem. How original can these movies be when they're always going to follow the same 4 beats? It's just, you can't.
Make sure you have an airlock.
That's the last step. Remember that circle thing you used to get in school, or show you like the life cycle of a frog? It would start off egg and a little arrow, and then it's a tadpole, and then it's a little bit bigger frog, and then it's a full frog. That's like the Alien movie.
Yeah. It's every one of the Alien movies.
And the last one is an airlock.
The problem is it's every one of the Alien movies. So you're like, you're waiting for the next beat. And it's like, if the story beats are always the same, the movie can never feel that original. Which is why, but the ones that were original, Alien 3, people hated it. And Prometheus, I hate it. So I guess stick to what you know, I guess. All right. That is it for a very long episode.
This thing's going to be like 20 minutes by the time it's cut down.
And anybody have one last thought?
Final thoughts. Jerry Springer had final thoughts, didn't he? He'd come out and take that microphone and say, I have some final thoughts.
I have a final thought on him. He paid a hooker with a check and now he's dead. Anybody else?
Are you glad about it?
Not bothered by it either way.
Interesting.
I think it's funny. He was the first person to beat Oprah in the daytime ratings in forever, which is hilarious to me. That trash TV overtook.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like Maury Povich. Or no, not Maury Povich. Who was the guy?
That was Povich. You are not the father.
No, not him. Yeah, I did like him too. Who was the guy who used to smoke? Morton Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Who was he?
Yeah.
He's from the early 80s.
What was he
on?
You'll never guess how he died.
Airplane crash.
Yeah, he was smoking at the time, though. So it still worked.
I think that's amazing.
All right. We'll see you next week for a watch along of a Friday the 13th movie. I don't even know if I picked it. I think I did, but I don't remember because next week has a 13th on a Friday.
Ooh. My mom once asked me if she didn't ask me. She said, imagine, Pete, if Friday the 13th or Halloween fell on Friday the 13th.
You've told that story before in this podcast, but you have told it better. So we'll see you next week. Ken, I don't know when we'll see you again. We're going to go travel through time and lose you again somewhere. See you later.